Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. Well, the ONS, Office of National Statistics, has come out and house price growth up to the end, the 12-month average to the end of May 2022, exceeded that of May 2021. Prices up 12.8% on average. The Southwest doing the best. We're seeing that enormous surge over to Cornwall, Devon and those lovely counties over there. But showing that despite the challenging economic environment that we're currently experiencing, there is enormous buyer confidence. And when demand continues to outstrip supply, prices will rise. Just interestingly, property over the last 12 months was the fourth best investment that you could have invested in. Topping the list, fine wines, growing at 16%. Then watches at 13%. And what was the other one? Fine art at 13%. And G Collins on the high street, if you want a nice watch, that is the place to go. Do follow Josh Collins. You'll see some really great watches on that site. They are superb. And I'm wearing a beautiful watch that I was gifted from them very kindly. So they are a fabulous, fabulous family-run business. Anyway, house price growth still growing, but inflation, of course, still soaring as well, hitting a 40-year average, 9.4%. Recently this month, the Bank of England thought it would peak at 11% at the end of August. Now looking like in the autumn it could go to above 12%. So do they need to take more preemptive action? We've seen base rate rises, quite a few of them, but only at 0.25%. And of course, at the last committee meeting of the Bank of England, there was an enormous feeling that it should be increased by 0.5%, but slightly pipped on the vote. It only went up 0.25. So we might see increased rates by a bit higher. And that's probably driving this demand in the market at the moment. I definitely see lots of potential buyers at the moment who are keen to move now while they can lock into a better rate than waiting till the beginning of next year. So there's definitely enormous pent-up demand still coming through and people keen to secure those really great interest rate rises. The inflation rate, the reason it was so high was caused by petrol and living costs. So something's got to be done to control it, definitely. But yeah, the property market's still very, very busy as we're experiencing it. Well, first-time buyers, we talk about them a lot, don't they? They control much of the market, actually. They're the lifeblood that feeds up through the market. And of course, they have a tough time of it at the moment. Property prices are so high and getting on the property ladder is therefore difficult to get that deposit. Some of you might know, though, I talk about my first mortgage, which was at 16%. I bought my first house 30 years ago. And my mortgage represented 60% of my take-home pay. I just didn't spend so much money on a coffee or going out for a meal. Disposable income was very different back then. And of course, the Help to Buy scheme, that has been introduced to really help first-time buyers. It means that they can take an interest-free loan for 5 years from anything between 20 to 40% of the deposit needed to buy a property. So that has really helped. And one phenomenon that you're therefore seeing is the reduction in one-bed properties. So one-bed properties that were built last year were only 6% of the overall housing stock, which is a reduction of 13% on previous years. There's definitely been a drive to have that home working space, but also to share, to be able to get a friend to share with you if you can have a two-bedroom place. And I'm sure that Help to Buy scheme has dramatically affected that. Nonetheless, thanks to rising property prices and rising interest rates, first-time buyers' outgoings on their property purchase now compared to the beginning of the year, about 20% higher. So it is getting very tricky for them, and it'll be interesting to see if more measures are done to make it easier for them, better stamp duty holidays, because they do control the flow of stock up through the housing market. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens there. Lots going on in the property market world. It is never boring at the moment. Two properties that certainly wouldn't bore you that we have just brought to market. There's this gorgeous 3-bedroom semi-detached property on Newlands Road. Newlands Road is all about heart of the grammar school area, but I like it because it's a much quieter road than many of the other big roads that surround the grammar schools. This property's got a lovely southwest garden, a really great home working studio, really beautifully presented new kitchen, but it has got planning permission to extend, so you could make it much bigger. Off-road parking on it at a guide of £700,000. But if that isn't enough of a challenge for you, how about this wonderful Hall House, and that's what it's called, the Hall House, on Sweet Hawes Lane, just outside Crowborough. It is stunning, a Grade 2 listed property. The internal features and period charm is exceptional, comes with 2 acres and lovely views beyond. It is in definite need of refurbishment. This one is not for the faint-hearted. It's listed and it needs some serious work, but could it be a beautiful property on at guide of 800,000. Either of those of interest, do give us a call. I hope you have a great week and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.